What's going on, everybody? It's Matt with That Jeep Adventure, and I'm really excited because today we are headed to Stoney Lonesome in Cullman, Alabama. Actually, I think it's in Bremen, Alabama, but anyway, about an hour and a half north of Birmingham. So it's been like 2 years since we've been to this park, and I've heard the trails have gotten a lot better, so pretty pumped to get back there and check it out. We've had this trip planned for a few months. We didn't get a lot of riding in this winter. It was wet and just not ideal conditions, so it's been probably since October since we've ridden. So but anyway, we've had this trip planned for a minute, and then all this craziness popped up with the coronavirus, so you know, we didn't cancel the trip. We figured we're going to be in the woods and we're going to be kind of away from everybody anyway, so we figured it'd do us good to get in the Jeeps and do some riding. Alright, another cool thing about this trip is that it's kind of like the maiden voyage for the camper van. I've done a lot of work to it since last year. I got a paint job, we got the queen size bed in the back now, carpet, curtains, all that stuff. So it should make our camping experience a whole lot better, so pretty pumped to try it out. Well, we made it to the park, just got the Jeep off the trailer, getting situated into the cabin. I'm staying in the van, so I've got it already situated. Some of the crew is here, they're on the trail already, but we're not gonna attempt to make it today, so we're just gonna hang out here at the house. Stouffer should be here any minute, so we're just gonna hang out, and once the rest of the crew gets off the trail, we'll probably cook some dinner and get ready for tomorrow.
Better stay on your floor.
And there, one side is the dudes, one side is the chicks.
It's not my floor, it's walk over.
Side to side.
Well,
This is a new thing we came up with today. It's a little spin on an old favorite. We call this pigs in a poncho. We put a bratwurst inside of a tortilla. Try it, you'll love it. I guarantee it, or your money back.
Well, the first night of staying in the van was a success. The bed is super comfortable. The weather was perfect. Wasn't too hot or too cold. We have to wait till 8:30 today to see if the park is going to be open with all the coronavirus stuff. So in the meantime, we're going to be airing down, getting disconnected, and getting some breakfast cooked.
this one on too. I know we could do at least 2 this morning. Ralph got some healthy sauce. Oh yeah. It's high in omega-12s. Kind of thing. Yeah.
High in maple.
We finished up breakfast and got up here to the office, so we're about to get checked in, do some riding for the day. With everyone checked in, we were stoked to get on the trail. All of us had only been here one other time, so we had no real plan on where to go. Randy took the lead and the rest of us fell in behind. As we made our way to the back of the park, even some of the main roads began to look like trails. With all 8 Jeeps to the top, we continue the adventure. Of course, we all had to stop and talk about it, since this is the first time in a few years that we have had the entire Pine Belt crew back together on one ride. We got some local advice on a few trails that we needed to hit. The plan was to head to Rock Creek and hit a few other spots on the way.
I believe this is the instructions on why we should not have come down this trail. Could be wrong though.
You're just gonna keep coming straight. It ought to drop together. Yeah, you're good. Let you drop together instead of separate. All right, so we've been on the trail for about an hour, and we're still working our way to the back of the park. It is super wet with the rain that we've had, so even some of the access roads have been a little tricky, but we're making it. Living in South Mississippi, we frequent Alabama to come enjoy their off-road parks. The scenery is peaceful and the trails can be as tough as you want them to be. The combination of big rocks, loose rock, and mud create challenging lines at each obstacle. Yeah. Now straighten up. Yeah. Now keep coming forward. Keep coming straight through it. Yeah. Come on, your passenger's coming up some too. Ooh, don't go back at all. Turn passenger and come forward. Yeah. Keep coming. Start going passenger, start going passenger. Good. Little driver, little driver. Not quite so much. Right there. Nope. Easy, slow, push it, come down. Okay. Slow, you actually start coming up. Right as some of the crew pulled off to head back to camp for lunch, we came to Rock Creek. This little creek bed was a super fun, technical trail with some tight spots and big rocks.
Bump it from here.
Unless he's going to bump into the creek.
Now straighten up. That was good.
All right, y'all, we're about 4.5 hours in. Covered a little bit of the access roads to kind of get us around, to get a feel for things. Been pretty wet, been pretty slick. We did eventually stumble on Rock Creek. which turned out to be a lot of fun. Didn't have to pull any cable yet, but definitely had the lockers in. Definitely had to use some good spotters to get around some things. No carnage so far. As you can tell, we went ahead and stopped and did some lunch. Thanks to our good friends at the Coronavirus Institute, we are limited to gluten-free bread, which you've never had. It's not as good as gluten-full bread. So we made the best out of it. We're having a good time out here on the trails, and looking forward to some more this afternoon.
Yeah, I thought I heard a little offer.
So Stouffer said we didn't have any carnage coming up the last trail. Well, he was speaking for himself, because I definitely ripped off my lower shock mount, just ripped the bracket off the axle. So now I'm about to try to find some sockets and take the shock off. All right, well, we got the shock off. It's destroyed. Put a hole in it, bent it all up, so got to weld the shock bracket back onto the axle and get a new shock, and we'll be good to go. All right, well, that's huge ruts on either side, and he pretty much just turtle shelled the whole way down with no tires touching. He's winching down the rest of it now. We're gonna see how mine does too, because I'm built pretty much just like that. Yep, we're pulling me down too. Craig led us to the last trail of the day in his YJ on 35s. This was a fun hill to climb. It was really wide and there were a ton of different lines and obstacles to choose from. I think most everyone in the group battled the hill a little bit differently. my gosh, a huge log sticking out of your tire.
Jeez. Holy crap. Jeez. Hold up. I gotta.
Dude, you've got a stick the size of my leg and you're sticking out the side of your tire.
How did that happen?
Understand that. That's an actor.
There we go.
Stoney requires you to be off the trails by 6 p.m. So by the time everyone made it to the top and Eric got his tire changed, it was time to make our way back. This was definitely as much fun as the last time that we came, and I agree with what we heard from a lot of other people. The trails have gotten better. The conditions slowed us down a bit, so we didn't get to cover as much ground as usual, so that leaves me pretty excited to make another trip back up here very soon. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for Stoney Lonesome. It was a really fun day. Had a little bit of carnage, but nothing too major. It was slick and wet. Kind of had to take a lot of momentum through everything. It was hard to stay on a line because you were constantly sliding around, but a good day of riding. So now we're about to get dinner going, and then we're heading back in the morning, and it's going to be back to the real world with all the coronavirus stuff going on. So definitely good to get some fun in before we go home and go on lockdown. So subscribe to the channel, follow along with all of our rides. I've got the CJ5 build going on right now. Follow on Instagram at That Jeep Adventure, and hit the subscribe button below.